Well met. Yes?
I just talked to you. We're at the Merchant's Inn. We rented a bed.
How goes it?
Very well, thank you. We've talked to him already. And now I'm just cozying up in here. I have nothing to drink on me. I don't really have to drink. Well, maybe... I have only potions. You know what, for the heck of it,
Yes?
role-playing sake,
Only quality goods for sale
I'll buy
here.
a simple
can I...
beer from you. And I will...
Tell your friends about me.
Maybe we'll do. I don't have any friends yet, but...
Goodbye.
Although Boris could be my friend. Let's drink it up here. Yummy. Your willpower is being drained. I don't mind. And I forgot to read the newspaper he gave to me. Assassination. The Black Horse Courier Special Edition. Emperor and heirs assassinated. Word spread already. Elder Council named as regents. We definitely need to meet this Elder Council. Emperor Uriel Septim VII is dead at the age of 87. That old? Having ruled Tamriel for 65 years, he was killed by assassins unknown. At the same time, in separate locations, the late Emperor's 3 sons and heirs, Crown Prince Geldol 56, Prince Enman 55, Prince Ebel 53, were slain by other assassins. At the same time? Really? I did not know about that yet. I thought they were killed earlier. But the whole family is getting killed. There's only one heir left that we need to find. An investigation into the identity and motives of the assassins is underway, but the Elder Council, Imperial Guard and Blades Guard have forbidden the publication of reports and rumors concerning the event until further notice. By ancient precedent, the Elder Council rules the Empire until a new Emperor is crowned. No direct heirs survive, and the Council has proposed no list of candidates. Chancellor Okado, Imperial Battle Mage, speaking for the Elder Council, presented an appeal to the Empire citizens for calm and asked that the people remember the Emperor, his sons and the Elder Council in their prayers. This is a long newsletter. Emperor Uriel's early reign was marked by peace and prosperity. The Empress Calavoria bore him 3 healthy sons, was a loving companion to the Emperor, and a great favorite of the people. However, the Emperor and the Empire suffered terribly during the Imperial Simulacrum, 3rd era, 3089, 3099, 300, whatever. 10 years, when he was held captive in Oblivion, while the usurper Jagar Tharn assumed his appearance and ruled in his stead. I think I've read that. Emperor Uriel was finally rescued and restored, and the impostor defeated by the agency of the sorceress Raya Silmane and her shadowy protege. But the affairs of the Empire were in great disorder, and Empress Calavoria, exhausted by her ordeal, withdrew from public life. It's nice that they give you so much backgrounds in the same article. The decades following the Restoration were once again peaceful and prosperous, but increasing political tensions among the petty states of northwest Tamriel finally erupted in the Wars of the Iliac Bays, resulting in the establishment of the modern borders of Daggerfall, Sentinel, Wayrest, and Orsinium, and culminating with the remarkable events associated with the Warp in the West. The latter years of the Emperor's reign have seen a flourishing of imperial influence in the provinces, and with the fortunate resolution of the religious wars at the Vardenfell crisis, Morrowind, and with the wise and firm guidance of King Helseth and his mother, Queen Berenzia. Ooh, she has a nice story in books as well. Pretty long. An extension of high imperial culture even into the more remote parts of Morrowind. The Emperor's murder and the murder of his 3 sons is a terrible crime and a great tragedy for the Empire. Battlemage Okado assures us that all the resources of the Elder Council, the Legions, the Guard, the Arcane University, and the Imperial Battle College are being employed to bring the assassins to justice. But, in the meantime, the greatest tribute we citizens can offer to the memory of our beloved Emperor is to go earnestly and diligently about our daily affairs. honoring the life of the great empire he loved so much and served so faithfully for so long. And that's it. End of article. Well, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Reading stuff gives you many insights of the game and provide you with the necessary backstory. You don't really have to read them to
What's this about?
know what's going on. This leads to the basement, which is locked, so we're not supposed to be there. And, oh yeah, I wanted to read this book. Is that the only book? Let's look behind the counter.
Well met.
Nothing is better than something inside the lectern. Ooh, another book, but we can't take it. Because it would be stealing.
Good to see you.
I think that's the only one. Let's read this book. Let's sit on a chair, enjoying our beer. Let's not take the book, let's just only read it. A Life of Uriel Septim VII. It needlessly, or we just read about him in the Black Horse Courier, so it's a good timing. I'm not sure how many differences we encounter in this book, but let's go for it. A Short Life of Uriel Septim VII by Rufus Hain. 368 till 389. Strategist and Conciliator. So we're talking about the one who died, right? Uriel Septim, just to make that sure. The early decades of Emperor Uriel's life were marked by aggressive expansion and consolidation of imperial influence throughout the empire, but especially in the east, in Morrowind and Black Marsh, where the empire's power was limited, imperial culture was weak, and native customs and traditions were strong and staunchly opposed to assimilation. During this period, Uriel greatly benefited from the arcane support and shrewd counsel of his close advisor, the imperial battle mage Jagar Tharn, who later betrayed him. The story of Uriel's marriage to the princess Kala Voria is a less happy tale. Though she was a beautiful and charming woman and greatly loved and admired by the people, the empress was a deeply unpleasant, arrogant, ambitious, grasping woman. She snared Uriel Septim with her feminine wiles, but Uriel Septim thereafter soon regretted his mistake and was repelled by her. They heartily detested one another and went out of their ways to hurt one another. Their children were the victims of this unhappy marriage. With this agile mind and vaunting ambition, Uriel soon outstripped his master in the balanced skills of threat and diplomacy. Uriel's success in co-opting House Halalu as an advance guard of imperial culture and economic development in Morrowind is a noteworthy example. Because during the events of Morrowind he was around already. However, Uriel also grew in pride and self-assurance. Jagar Tharn fed Uriel's pride in hiding behind the mask of an outward-paced former master counselor. Tharn purchased the complete trust that led finally to Uriel's betrayal, an imprisonment in Oblivion, and Tharn's secret usurpation of the Imperial throne. Keep in mind, we're talking about Patrick Stewart, the one who died at the tutorial stage. Then later on, the 10 years of imprisonment, betrayed and imprisoned. Little is known of Uriel's experience while trapped in Oblivion. 10 years? He says he remembers nothing but an endless sequence of waking and sleeping nightmares. He says he believed himself to be dreaming and had no notion of passage of time. Publicly, he long claimed to have no memory of the dreams and nightmares of his imprisonment, but from time to time, during the interviews with the Emperor that formed the basis of this biography, he would relate details of nightmares he had and would describe them as similar to the nightmares he had when he was imprisoned in Oblivion. He seemed not so much unwilling as incapable of describing the experience. Well, he dreamt his death and he dreamt he saw me, so he was a dreamer. But it is clear that the experience changed him. In 389 he was a young man full of pride, energy and ambition. During the Restoration, after his rescue and return to the throne, he was an old man, grave, patient and cautious. He also became conservative and pessimistic, where the policies of his early life were markedly bold, even rash. Uriel accounts for this change as a reaction to and revulsion for the early teachings and counsel of Jagar Tharn. However, Uriel's exile in Oblivion also clearly drained and wasted him in body and spirit, though his mind retained the shrewd cunning and flexibility of his youth. I was going to say what happened to Tharn, but I think we're going into that right now. The story of Tharn's magical impersonation of the Emperor, the unmasking of Tharn's imposture by Queen Berenzia, and the roles played by King Edwyr, Rhea Silmain, and her champion in assembling the Staff of Chaos, defeating the renegade Imperial battle mage Jagar Tharn, and restoring Uriel to the throne, is treated at length in Stern Gambogi's excellent 3-volume Biography of Berenzia. Maybe we'll read it later, definitely. There is no reason to recount the narrative here. Summarized briefly, Jagar Tharn's neglect and mismanagement of imperial affairs resulted in a steady decline in the Empire's economic prosperity, allowed many petty lords, and kings to challenge the authority of the Empire, and permitted strong local rulers in the east and the west to indulge in open warfare over lands and sovereign rights. Then, the next 16 years, till 415, was the Age of Restoration, the Miracle of Peace, and Vardenfell. During the Restoration, Uriel Septim turned from the aggressive campaign of military intimidation and diplomatic accommodation of his earlier years and relied instead on clandestine manipulation of affairs behind the scenes, primarily through the agencies of the various branches of the Blades. A complete assessment of the methods and objectives of this period must wait until after the Emperor's death, when the voluminous diaries archived at his country estate, where is that, may be open to the public, and when the Blades no longer need to maintain secrecy to protect the identities of its agents. Well, he's dead, but we have, the Blades, I'm kind of part of the Blades right now, so we have to remain secret. 2 signal achievements of this period point to the efficacy of Uriel's subtle policies. The Miracle of Peace, also popularly known as the Warp in the West, that transformed the Iliac Bay region from an unruly assortment of warring petty kingdoms into the well-ordered and peaceful modern counties of Hammerfell, Sentinel, Wayrest, and Orsinium, and the colonization of Vardenfell, preceded over by the skillful machinations of King Helseth of Morrowind and Lady Berenzia, the Queen Mother, which brought Morrowind more closely into the sphere of imperial influence. This Berenzia is a very great figure in the Elder Scrolls lore. I don't think she was in any game, really, but they should make a spin-off, the Elder Scrolls Berenzia, which we address later because she has a lot of books about her. Then 15 years later, over the next 15 years, it was the Golden Peace, King Helseth's court, and the 9 in the east. Following the Miracle of Peace, best described in Per Wetterson's Daggerfall, A Modern History, the Empire entered a period of peace and prosperity comparable to the early years of Uriel's reign. With the Imperial heartland and West solidly integrated into the Empire, Uriel was able to turn his full attention to the east, to Morrowind. Exploiting conflicts at the heart of Morrowind's monolithic tribunal religion and the long-established Great House system of government, and taking advantage of the terrible threat that the corrupted divine beings at the heart of the tribunal religion presented to the growing colonies on Vardenfell, Uriel worked through shadowy agents of the Blades and through the court of King Helseth in Mournhold to shift the center of political power in Morrowind from the Great House councils to Helseth's court, and took advantage of the collapse of the orthodox tribunal cults to establish the 9 divines as the dominant faiths in Hlaalu and Vardenfell districts. Hasfat, oh man, I know that guy from Morrowind. Hasfat Antabolist's treatment of the establishment of the 9 in the East in his 4-volume Life and Times of the Nerevarine. He wrote about it? Is comprehensive, however, he fails to resolve the central mystery of this period. How much did Uriel know about the prophecies of the Nerevarine? And how did he learn of their significance? The definitive resolution of this and other mysteries must await the future release of the Emperor's private papers, or a relenting of the Blade's strict policies of secrecy concerning their agents. Thank you. This is the end of the book. So yeah, the last thing the book spoke about was the Nerevarine situation. Oh, I'm sitting. I forgot. Which was the main story quest in the Elder Scrolls III, Morrowind. A door in Neben Bay. Oh, that's part of the DLC, which I haven't turned on, but this might be a bug. We should ignore it for now. Let's continue. Not sure why it popped up now. But anyway. So yeah, those were the adventures of the Elder Scrolls III, Morrowind. Another fantastic game that preceded this one. So I'm the only one left, right? People are going home. He's just standing there, waiting for customers. It's 12 a.m. We should turn to bed. And rest until 7? Let's rest until 7. I think the stores open at 8. But we're good. In the rooms, yes. What is this? More books? That's the one I read. What about this one? Guide to the Imperial City. Oh man, we should steal this. Nobody's seeing this, right? We definitely need to read this one. I think this book explains the different regions. And maybe we can read it when we enter a new area. So let's stay to the market district for now and read the start. Alessia Otta's Guide to the Imperial City. We actually met her outside. Praise Akatosh, bless the Empire and all its people. She is definitely a believer. My name is Alessia Otis and I'd like to tell you all about the Imperial City. The Imperial City? Who do you think lives in the Imperial City? Does she think we are stupid? Uriel Septim, Emperor of Tamriel, Defender of the Faith, and descendant of the sainted Tiber Septim. Lord Talos, the holy god of state and law in our blessed 9 divines. All know the Emperor to be a good and holy man, for he may often be seen in the Temple of the One, making his devotions to the 9 divines and the communion of saints. Too bad he passed away. And where does he live? In the Imperial Palace, in the center of the Imperial City, in the white gold tower which was built many ages ago by the godless Daedra-loving Ayleids. How fine it is that the stones raised high by this ancient evil empire are now reconsecrated as a monument to imperial justice and piety. People who visit the Imperial Palace like to walk among the graves of saints and counts, battle mages and emperors, and gaze with wonder upon White Gold Tower, which can be seen from any place within the city. From any place in the country, really. The Elder Council Chamber here cannot be entered, and though you may marvel at their curious ancient armors, you will soon want to be away from the rude and the scorches Imperial guards. Alright, she certainly has an opinion. And she talked about the Ayleids. And the Ayleids are kind of the ancient people that built this city. Imperial City districts. The Imperial City is divided into 10 districts. At the center is the Imperial Palace. The other districts are grouped around the palace. To the northwest is Elven Gardens, a pleasant residential district. Continuing Widdershins, what the hell is that? The Talos district. An exclusive residential area lies to the west. To the southwest is the Temple district, and beyond it, outside the walls, the filthy and bad-smelling Waterfront district, where we need to be for that Thieves Guild quest. To the southeast lies the Arboretum, and beyond that, outside the walls, the infamous Arcane University of the Mages Guild. We haven't been there. To the east is the notorious Arena district, and last, to the northeast of the palace, lies the Market district. That's where we are now, where anything may be bought, and beyond the Market district, outside the city walls, the Imperial Prison. We've been there. Alright, now she is talking specifics, and I'm going to read them when we are in the district. So let's skip through the Market district. You will find crowds of people waiting outside the doors of the Office of Imperial Commerce. Really? To make their complaints about being cheated by some merchant. It's a very dirty place. Okay, piles of crates lie around in untidy heaps. I've seen that. Unwholesome toadstools and fungus grow in clumps, and the cobbles are slimy and encrusted with filth. If you may send your servant rather than visit yourself, it would be far better. Oh, she's not speaking very highly of this district, though we just encountered her walking around there. Tell me about the prison, because we went there also. Imperial prison. The prisons are very cruel and horrible, damp and dirty, with chains and pincers and manacles and instruments of torture on every hand. But did I find any prisoners in these cells? No, for the watch is so lazy and careless that the cells are all empty. Not all, I was in there and 2 others. There are guards everywhere in the Imperial city. They travel in groups, for even they are afraid of the cruel bandits and thieves that lurk everywhere in the city. I do not know why they do not throw the impertinent beggars into prison. Criminals are so bold as to introduce themselves to you on the street. One outlaw was so brazen as to boast that he had stolen his weapons and armor from the Imperial prison. How careless and idle these watchmen must be to allow this. They know no shame, for the wicked officers of the watch are corrupt and accept gold from the hands of the very people they are supposed to place behind bars. Ooh, she's frustrated, that woman. And that leaves us the arena, which we'll read later. She closes with Maiden 9, bless you and keep you. I'll take this book. It's stealing, but nobody's around. We actually have another stolen book, the Real Berengia Volume 2. But before we read that, I want to find Volume 1. Phew, enough reading for now, I think. 3 doors, where do we sleep? Not this one, not that one, and that must be this one. Hello. This will be my abode for now, with a folded cloth and some bowels. The cupboard contains nothing. I could put my clothes in there if I really wanted to. I'm still in armor. You could add mods to go into a sleep attire, but I don't really want to. I can eat all stuff that's over here. Don't really want to. Don't really need to. There's even a chest, which is empty. And of course more books. The desk stands empty. Galerion the Mystic. I want to read that as well. One more book before sleeping. What time is it? Time stands still when you read, so it's 1 AM. What is this scroll though? Letter. What is it doing here? I can't wait to see you tonight. My every day is spent thinking about when we will next be together. Soon we will be married and we can be together forever. Your true love. Is that addressed to me? Let's take it. Did somebody leave this letter for me? Who would be my true love though? Or maybe a past tenant who wrote the letter? We have it in our possession. Maybe we have to deal with it later. Let's keep reading. Galerion the Mystic. Let's sit down over here. This is a very ready episode. Ready is not a word, but action will come later, I promise. Alright, Galerion the Mystic by Asgrim Kolsgrek. That's a Nord. During the early bloody years of the Second Era, Vannes Galerion was born under the name Tractus, a serf on the estate of a minor nobleman, Lord Gurness of Solicich. On Kurt Tractus, what kind of names are those? Father and mother were common laborers, but his father had secretly, against the law of Lord Gurness, taught himself and then Tractus to read. Lord Gurness had been advised that literate serfs were an abomination of nature and dangerous to themselves and their lords, and had closed all bookstalls within Solicich on Kur. All booksellers, poets and teachers were forbidden, except within Gurness's keep. Nevertheless, a small-scale smuggling operation kept a number of books and scrolls in circulation right under Gurness's shadow. When Tractus was 8, the smugglers were found and imprisoned. Some said that Trecta's mother, an ignorant and religious woman fearful of her husband, was the betrayer of the smugglers, but there were other rumors as well. The trial of the smugglers was non-existent, and the punishment swift. The body of Trecta's father was kept hanging for weeks during the hottest summer Solid-Chick on Cur had seen in centuries. 3 months later, Trectus ran away from Lord Gurness's estate. He made it as far as Eleanor, halfway across Somerset Isle. Somerset Isle is like the island south of Tamriel. A band of troubadours found him nearly dead, curled up in a ditch by the side of the road. They nursed him to health and employed him as an errand boy in return for food and shelter. One of the troubadours, a soothsayer named Heliand, began testing Trectus' mind and found the boy, though shy, to be preternaturally intelligent and sophisticated given his circumstances. Heliand recognized in the boy a commonality, for Heliand had been trained on the Isle of Artaeum as a mystic. Difficult words in this book. When the troupe was performing in the village of Potenza on the far eastern end of Somerset, Heliand took Trectus, then a boy of 11, to the Isle of Artaeum. The magister of the isle, Iachesis, recognized potential in Trectus and took him in as a pupil, giving him the name of Venus Galerion. Venus trained his mind on the Isle of Artaeum as well as his body. Thus was the first Archmagister of the Mages Guild trained. From the psychics of the Isle of Artaeum he received his training. From his childhood of want and injustice he received his philosophy of sharing knowledge. Good story. I'm not sure how it is related to anything. Would be nice to have a Skyrim, an Elder Scrolls game placed in the Somerset Isles. So many areas still not done. By, whoops, get off your chair. By Bethesda, so many opportunities. They covered many areas in the online version, but that's not a real Elder Scrolls game. I think, at least. Although it was fun to play for a while. So that was a short book. Now it's definitely time to wake up. Or to go to bed and then wake up. So, let's sleep. It's okay, let's wake up early. 6 hours. Maybe a little too early, but... Oh, it's 7:30. Well, fair enough. Shops are opening at 8, I think. So we're ready to head out. Refreshed. And well. We stole some items. We have 3 stolen items in my possession. But we are not caught yet, so... He's still standing there, poor man. Let's explore the city at daytime again. Now let's pick a good starting point. What would be a good starting point? I think I want to go to the... Hail. To the outer stores first. Because they can easily be missed. I'm not sure where they are. Oh, there's one. Could be that they're still locked. The main ingredient. Ah, nobody's there yet. Okay. Another place then. What about the neighbors? A fighting chance. Locked. Okay, and what time is it? It's 8 AM. Places should open. It's not on a Sunday, is it? I think it's a Monday. I'm not sure if that matters. Who are you? Are you walking to your shop?
Don't be the last to read today's Black Horse Courier.
Cicero Virus. Haven't met you before.
Have a copy of the Black Horse Courier. It's the only way to get the real news. Feature story on the Grey Fox.
Well, thank you. Anything else?
Here's a copy of the Black Horse Courier. Identity of the Grey Fox revealed.
2 papers?
Sorry? Only 1 copy of the Black Horse Courier per customer.
Well, you gave me 2. Can you tell me about the city?
It would be perfect if the Watch could just get rid of the damned Thieves Guild. You don't have this problem in Anvil or Bruma.
Yeah, the Thieves Guild. People don't like it here. Well, thank you, Cicero, for those newspapers. I guess we'll read those to start the day. Like I was gonna say a normal person. But yeah, when do you read newspapers? Most of the time in the morning. So we'll do it next time. More reading stuff. And we'll get to the action later, I promise. But for now, let's soak in the world and the vibe of this great game. And I'll see you guys later.